Tonight is again, on the Sermon on the Mount, Matt has done the first couple of weeks into that. And tonight's passage is one of the favourites of mine because it challenges me each time I read it. And I love to challenge other people about this passage as well because it is one of those things that goes to... people don't realise how much influence they have and the power that people have. And so this passage speaks into that. And I love this passage myself, and I get challenged by it because it challenges me personally, and hopefully it will challenge you in some way tonight. So let's just open up in a word of prayer, and we'll get into it. Hey God, we just want to thank you. We want to thank you that your love does endure forever. That you love us no matter what. No matter what we have done, no matter what we're going to do, no matter what we think about, that you love us. Lord, open up our hearts and minds tonight, God. I did this in your mighty, wonderful name. Amen.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. This is going to be a good... Anyway, so I want to start off by having some signs up on my PowerPoint. Jacob, is it? It's on. So some student signs. Now this one is on a letter opener, and if you read the bottom, it says blades are extremely sharp. Safety goggles recommended. Next one. I'm not too sure if this is working also. I might have to get you there. This is on a scooter. It says this product moves when used. Exercise caution. It's a scooter that's supposed to move. On a dog medicine, it says may cause drowsiness. Use care when driving a car or dangerous machinery. Dog tablets, I'm not too sure about that. This is on a rotary tool, like for engraving and for digging small things. It says, this product is not intended for dental drill or medical applications. Next one, this is a coat hanger. And it says, caution, do not swallow. I think this is my favourite one. Caution, do not eat the gum from the urinal. Now I wanted to know, we see stupid signs everywhere nowadays, like on this product may contain nuts on a Snickers bar, and on a Superman costume we bought Thomas, it says this costume will not make him fly. But we see them all the time now, and I'm wondering do you know where this all started from? The major influx of this warning came in about 1992. A 72-year-old grandmother successfully sued McDonald's because there was no warning label on a cup of tea or coffee to say that this was hot. And you can put the next slide up there. So this was after it, they had to change it to say contents hot. So when she spilled the cup of coffee on her, she sued McDonald's because it burnt her legs. She successfully became a millionaire from that case. And since then, we've been seeing obvious warning labels on things ever since. Now, she didn't know that she was going to have such an influence on everyone else's life. But this little old grandmother has had an influence on virtually everything we buy. And so I want to ask a point to say, do you know how much influence that you have? Every single person in this room is a person of influence. You might not think that you can influence someone, but has anyone ever asked you, are you going to youth group tonight? Or are you going to this event tonight? Or what are you going to wear? Your decision is maybe influenced by one or two others. Or someone asks, watch this TV show, watch this movie. Now, next slide up there, who has watched this TV show? Put their hands up. See, I personally got influenced by you guys. The first episode I watched, I said, no, I'm not going to watch it. I don't like it that much. 3 or 4 seasons in, everyone was saying, you got to watch it. You have to watch this. This is the best thing ever. And so I had people I remember Ben was talking to me about it. I remember Murray was talking to me about it. Lots of people were saying watch this TV show. And then people from my school were saying, watch this TV show. Other youth workers were saying, watch this TV show. So what did I do? I watched this TV show. And I did what anyone does. I caught up in the first 5 seasons in about 2 weeks. So I binge watched it. And then after that, I got hooked. I had to wait out for the whole end of the season and I had to wait for the week to week for the new ones to come out. Linda was going, what are you watching this show for? I couldn't influence her. But I was influenced by you guys. And I think that we can think about different times in our lives when we have been influenced by other people. See, you are a person of influence. Just last week at my school, we were doing some workshops with the Victoria Police. And they've got stats to prove that the single biggest influence in someone's lives is their peers, friends, or people around them. Bigger than TV, bigger than social media. Their friends often influence them on social media, but social media itself won't influence them as much as their friends will. They're even looking at ways to change the way they advertise things regarding drink driving and road safety because they know that a peer is the biggest influence. Now let's get tonight's Bible reading up there. Thank you. So this is in Matthew 5:13 to 16. The next part of the Sermon on the Mount. It says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your God in heaven." As we're going on, this is the second part of this, or the third part of the Sermon on the Mount, but it's the second part where we analyse what Jesus is speaking about. The first time Jesus was talking about, hey, blessed be the poor, blessed be the peacemakers, and blessed be all those. And so he focuses on different parts of the community that might not have been looked at before, or that might have been not felt as blessed as the others. And now to the same people, he's saying, not only are you blessed, but now you are influencers. You influence the people around you. See, this message was for everyone. It wasn't just for the priests, the leaders. This message is for everyone. See, you can kind of imagine the type of people that Jesus was attracting at that time. He wasn't attracting the leaders. He wasn't attracting that. He was attracting anyone. Anyone was coming up to Jesus and saying, hey, heal my boy. Or, I want to know what this is about. And so at the start of the Sermon on the Mount, it says that Jesus, seeing the crowds, pulled his disciples away and sat at the side of the mountain. And so he was saying, he was talking to doing the Sermon on the Mount with everyone underneath him as well. So lots of people would have been listening to what was going on. So it's fair to say that he's not just talking to the disciples, he's talking to anyone, because anyone who he mentioned before, the blessed are the meek, blessed are the poor, are now people of influence. So you're the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth. And just like salt seasons food and influences the taste, we can do the same in the world. See, salt played a big part in ancient times. Hey, excellent. So, salt played a big part in ancient lives. They didn't have fridges or freezers, so salt was used to preserve food and make it last longer. Fun little fact, junk food came from this process. The word junk food. See, in the 18th century, long ship voyages would have to travel with meat and cargo on them. And so they would often cut up horses or other junk pieces of meat and preserve it in salt, and that would be called a junk. And so, or junk meat or junk food. And so when it came to serve it, they would often say, oh, let's get the junk food out or junk meat out. So that's where the terminology junk food came from, because of the way it was travelled from cargo ship to whatever, however long, in months at a time, was preserved in that. But it took the right amount of salt to preserve it. Too little salt, and it would make it go off easy. Too much salt, it would have ruined the taste of it. And so that's what Jesus is saying. He's saying, you are the salt of the earth. If you lose your saltiness, if you don't have enough influence in there, you can get trampled over pretty quickly. If you have too much. We all know, have you ever played that prank on someone where you just untie the salt thing a little bit and they put it in there and all the salt comes out and you still want to eat the food but it's still all salty now? It tastes awful. So we can have a bad influence in people's lives. The other day I was eating my food And we were sitting around as a family doing it, and Tom was eating his food, and he has only just started to using a knife and cutting things up. The next minute I see him bring the knife to his mouth and almost start to lick it. I thought, Tom, what are you doing? And I said, Linda, what are you doing? And so Linda was the right mum. He said, so like, Tom, what are you doing there? He said, Daddy licks his fork all the time. I thought, so I lick the knife and fork after I eat it, just to get every tasty little bit of morsel off there. And I hear his Tom bringing up this sharp knife, just learning how to do it. I'm scared he's going to cut his tongue or something like that. So he's copied me. And he's influenced by what I do. So we've all heard about peer pressure and the negative aspect that it does have on the world. There's a statistic out there in the health circles that 75% of people who start smoking do so because of peer pressure. So we can be negatively influenced by the people around us. But we can also be positively influenced by the people around us. See, this is where Jesus is talking about the second half of it. He says, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand and it gives it light. How many people, when they're stumbling through the dark, get out their phone and put the little light on to see where they're going? We all do it. And see, that little light can light up such a big space. Can help us to see where we're going. If that little light can do so much, imagine what we can do. Because we are a light in this world. We are an influence to people. So this is what Jesus is talking about. Jesus is saying that we are the light of the world. That people can see us and see our good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. See, when I'm doing my chaplaincy job at school, I'm not allowed to say, hey, I believe in God, I do this sort of stuff. But because when they ask me about why do you do this, why do I serve pancakes, why do I care for people so much, and I can say, well, I do get paid for it, but I also love it because God's within me, and that's when I can talk about Jesus. And so people see what they do. And I know the fact that they do it about you guys as well. We get people asking from other churches to say what's happening within the youth thing else and not Ringwood because they're alive. We're getting 15 people on Beach Missions this year. What is it about this place? And I just say, well, we've got a wonderful bunch of people that want to serve God and learn more about God. And so you guys are already influencers without even knowing it. So what are we supposed to do with this? See, when I talk to people, when I talk to young people, and when I talk to people of all ages, they don't realise how much influence they have. They don't understand the influence that they have in people's lives. I'm going to share with you a couple of examples. We all know who this person is?
Greta.
Exactly. In the last year, she's popped up and has been one of the biggest influences. She's Time Person of the Year this year, which Donald Trump wasn't too happy about. And she's come out of nowhere. Now, she has got some pretty famous parents in Sweden, but she's mainly gained her notoriety because of herself. Greta had a passion and wanted to tell people about it. She started a solo protest outside her school and got her friends involved, and that gave her a platform to talk to other people about this. And from there, she's become more of an influence and more of an influence and more of an influence. This 15-year-old, 16-year-old, I think that's how old she is, girl has become one of the biggest influences of the world right now. And I don't think she's any more special than anyone else in this room. The second person I want to mention was this girl named Rachel Scott. Now, I'm not too sure if you have heard of this girl before. In 1999, 2 youths tore through Columbine High School and killed lots of teenagers. Rachel Scott was one of the first ones shot. She was a normal Christian teenager living her life and had strong beliefs. She followed Jesus all the way to the end. And it is said that one of the gunmen asked her just before he shot her, said, "Are you a Christian?" And when she said yes, that's when she got shot. They also believe that Rachel had a message to share to people. And the way that she lived her life leading up to that point, Rachel was influencing a lot of people, which is why they targeted her. Now, her friends and family wanted her message to keep on going. She wrote journals and she wrote diary entries, and she published those books there. And in 2016, they made a movie of it called I'm Not Ashamed. So again, this ordinary Christian girl stood up for what she believed in and helped people to have a positive influence in other people's lives. Again, an ordinary person just using a platform to influence other people. So do you think these two things, or two people, have anything extraordinary? They were the salt that seasoned things. They were the light that led people towards things. For Rachel, she just went about her life, living out how God wanted her to live her life. To take care for people, to be there for people. It is just living the way that God calls us to be. These two examples showed various ways of having a positive influence. I want you to have a look at the people around you, whether it's a church, whether it's a school, whether it's work. Even if you don't think you have an influence, there's an interesting statistic. Has it got the next one up there? There we go, excellent, thank you very much there. These are two things from, not Christian things, but secular things, and it says, Tim Elmer, a sociologist and a leadership expert, said, sociologists tell us that even the most introverted person would influence 10,000 people in their lifetime. And this is the one here that if you go follow that flow chart, that will say that you will influence about 80,000 people. And this is just ordinary people. They say that you will influence these people. Again, are we the salt? Are we the light of the world? You don't have to think about how you're going to influence people. You are an influence in people's lives. What you do need to think about is how you influence them. Whether it's going to be too much salt or too little salt. You have to be the right amount of salt. And then you have to think about how you're going to be that light. See, we all influence the people around us. And this is why it is a challenge for me to think about this. To think about how I analyse how I challenge people and how I influence people. And I sometimes have to stop and think, okay, am I having enough influence? Am I having too much influence? Am I having the right sort of influence? So I want to ask that question of you. How is God influencing you right now? And how are you using God's influence in other people's lives? Because I can guarantee you, everyone in this room has had influence in someone's life. And will continue to do so. So I challenge you to think about it with God and to pray about it with God on how you're going to use your influence. Let's pray these things in your name. Let's pray. Hey God, we thank you. We thank you firstly that we come together in a place where you have had such a big influence on us. That you love us, that you care for us, that you've died for us. And Lord, our lives have been changed for that. Lord, we all have influence in people's lives. Lord, let us think about how we have influence the people around us. Let us think about how we can be a positive influence in their lives. Let us think about how we can be that light that draws people towards you. Lord, encourage us, inspire us. Put people around us that we can influence. And we just pray these things in your mighty name. Amen.